My name is Tui. The real name is quite long. Like Thai name is Pacharada. So I'm founder of Showmaker. That with another partner that we basically working on design, architectural design mainly. But our background is we graduate from the architecture school, but we are really interested into making something happen, concrete thing. So between like 2 or 3 years of our first experience of our practice, so we we working in the for me, I working in the studio that they have the workshop. So I have the experience to working with local builder and the workshop method already. And another partner, he is a maker by himself, so he do something really simple for his use, like he do bamboo bicycle, name brand of Brown Bike. So after like five 5 or 6 years ago, and we meet and we try to pursue the things that's quite same. We try to blend our interest in architect in our occupation. So we start to do something together. But Showmaker formed on 2018, so I think it's around 3 years ago. Yeah, something like that. And our company is working based in Chiang Mai, Thailand, and we can call our studio is architect studio because we have a lot of people that we working with, like the local builder, the furniture maker, or sometimes we cross the rim to working with the ceramic people, the fabric people. So I think we are like a group of the people working together and like try to figure what is the most what is the most method to develop the design, something like that, I think. Yeah, I think in the normal education like academic system that train us, okay, they train us to be play a role of architect, and we have to accept one thing, that our role is a quiet the people can hire architect nowadays is we have to accept it's going to be middle class or upper class. So you're going to set yourself as architect, and you can gonna draw the line really separately. Your architect and another people is a contractor, another people is interior. Even thought in the same design area, you still separate. Is landscape, is interior. I know the advantage why they separate, because the specialist in some subject that really need time to learn and to practice themselves. But for us, the advantage that we doing the work cross the line a little bit, you gonna understand what the people that working with us, what they really carry. For example, if you do the work with the maker, you're gonna understand how hard of them, what the thing that they have to carry. If you working cross with the builder, so you're gonna understand what the thing that they carry also. And I really want them to understand our role also, why we always ask them to do something quite difficult to do or something like that. So I think the thing is a normal thing is empathy, and try to make the boundary of the role quite really don't have the boundary much, because I think the process that really have the clearly clearly role to play, I think for small city, and for small city and for the local area in the place that I working, I think we not necessary to use that method in every single project. Some project the serious you can use that kind of mentality, but some project is small and is you have time to explore it. So I think better to take time a bit and learning to understand cross the road a little bit. The advantage is the something is most important. For the advantage is you gonna understand another people in your room, yeah, what they're carrying, and they gonna understand you, yeah. uh Actually, after we set this team and we passed, we done the real building for 2 or 3 building. We find it is easy and is the right way. But from the first time. I know everything is not easy. Like when you come with the idea at quite idealistic a little bit, like okay, you're gonna want to explore something, you're gonna push the people to understand the order of building quite different that they're not familiar to work with. So it's going to be really hard for the first project, and also it's hard for us to push ourselves. It's going to be the right way that we're going to work in this way, right? I always talk with my partner, okay, but we have really strong intention to work with this because we see the potential in Chiang Mai. We quite I think each local area, if you go to work in the really rural area in Indonesia, or you go to work in the rural area in some place in the world, I think they have the different method to thinking about architecture. So I think the format that we use are all the world is only single format that we use is gonna it's work, but we want to try something else here. So is first project is really hard because we have to explain the builder team a lot what we really want to explore, and they have to have the courage to do with us also. They quite risk to do also. So is the first is hard, but after that, after we know how to communicate with them and what the advantage that they get from explore is a new know-how that they get, the new material that they can courage to working on. So next 2 3 or like now this year is more easy with them. They open my, like okay, when sometimes you give them the design that quite hard to understand, they're not shocked anymore. Okay, we just communicate and learning and explore together. Yeah. uh because we okay, I gonna separate into two question, two part of answer. The first is I for our mentality to working, me and my partner really trust architecture is something need to relate themselves in the whole things. We can think like plan come first, another next week the form is come. I think everything in architecture need to blend together, so everything is rational by another things relate around them. So we really don't trust gonna be like okay, we're gonna first give the client the schematic, after that is form, after that is, we not separate the architecture in our mind like that. So we want to blend it in the single things, so we try to move architecture like that. So and the architecture that design like that is more move us also. When you see the building that when they think a lot and they think delicate in the whole things, that kind of building all will move us if we have the experience in the real building. That's why we separate the process in our studio to be three part, really easy. Pre-production, production, and post-production. The pre-production talking about the research, only research, like okay, you're gonna figure out what the possibility gonna be the happen in this project. You're gonna, sometimes it's not material, sometimes it's some tectonic, sometimes it's landscape effect, sometimes it's ambience of the land. It's different in each condition of the project. So the first part is a pre-production, and I think the production part is the second one, is the design part that normal studio do. But is as I tell you, we think is the same thing. We need to blend things. So if you do the research quite well, so it's gonna be related to this part. You will uh, you will blend the material, everything already in this part. You know necessary to okay, I decide the form done, and have to figure out what material I use. Is not going to be happen like this because you have the pre-production quite strong already, so the production is going to be really short, and we not spend time in rendering, we not spend time to do something like that. So we just try to figure out what architecture is supposed to be, just that in different way of language we're gonna communicate with the client. So if we do the homework of the first research quite well, this part's gonna be fun. We just try to figure out and make it happen. And another thing is the post product, and this second part is combined with the construction already. It means you design, you deal with the client, and you control and cooperate with the builder team. You see, it's gonna be the same thing. Everybody blend in the pro design process already, and the final part is the post production. I see the another design, the people working in the design room, like the production house of when they make the cinema or they do the photographer or something, they always have the post production. It's something like for measure the quality of your work. Is not about you done your work, you send the building and it's done. But the post production is something like value behind the architecture. Is consists of, okay, you record it, you make an archive of this building, you sometimes you publish it for the owner, and sometimes you get the feedback from the owner, and after that you rely all to like the measure yourself, like okay, it's like a KPI for your project, that what is teach you and what you grow up for this project. I think this part is really important. Many architects don't do that. Many architects, they done their role when they send the building, but they not recheck it, like what is gonna teach you on each project. I think this part is really important also. So we always separate in these three parts. I think architecture is something have to you gonna grow up with it, so you can just make it like a design product and send it or something like that. So the post production is really important because it's make you more human. You're gonna have the really empathy when you get the bad feedback, or you have the really nice relationship with the client. It's gonna be happen in this part also. So our process is like this, because I not focus in the design process. I focus in the whole method of our thing. Yeah, something like that. When I start my practice, I see a lot of studio. They do the design service, so the member of the studio gonna be really grow up, follow the scale of building that they accept, follow their commission. So I really understand that business, our business, and I really understand how design service is work. You hire something to do something that you can do, okay. But I think that back to our first intention with my partner, we want to really blend the architecture with our life. We don't want to make it like a design service that we have to straight about it, but we want to blend it in our life really naturally. So I have one Malaysian architect that I really admire, is Kevin Marklow. He work alone with big building. So I think the scale of building is not matter. I think that the thing that you have to deal it with your mentality. Okay, I really want to keep our studio like not more than like 6 or 7 people. Only that, because more leans of the scale of your studio, you're gonna get the staff that really want to working with you, and you're gonna have time to spend with each project. Compare with the build the big corporation, they need to get quantity of project for feed the people, right? So the thing that you just have to balance is to fit with your life a little bit. Okay, we really want to keep our studio to be a small scale. I can say it, and I think next 10 year I gonna be same people, same number. I think
Yeah.
as I see the scale is the scale of the building, the commission is not the matter. I think we can accept it when we have experience enough, I think. But not we accept it because our company big enough. I think it's quite, I think it's not the way that we're thinking about our firm. Actually, the workshop is just like the beside of our office, so we really can walk through. It's a hallway that like a multi-purpose, and we play the ping pong, table tennis, or sometimes have lunch or party. So another side is a workshop that collect the tools, the hand tool. So the workshop mainly designed for when we need the mock up, and we not don't need uh, build a team come here. We can do it by ourselves, because as I told you, my partner and me is basically is maker, so we can build it by ourselves, or we can do everything here. So when you need to check some detail or some material mock up one by one scale, so you can do it. So mainly we do as a mock up. And another thing is the hobby that we really love to do, like my partner do the kayak by himself, like he bending the wood by himself. So I think is the way that we bend our interest in our life and our working area. So is the place that our staff can try to use the hand tool also. Some hand tool that they're gonna understand the builder team also, what they're working on, what the detail that you're gonna develop. Or the workshop is something like the place that you can make sure you're gonna build it, you can build it right, something like that. Because sometimes they just graduate and they don't practice, they never practice, so they gonna don't have idea what to figure out how to the thing join it, something like that. But the workshop is a setting for confirm this thing. uh it's quite hard because people interesting is different, but we try. We when we because we have really small team so when we find someone to work with us, we want to see not just the intention in architecture. So we need some people that really can stay with us and can stay with us in long term a little bit, something like that. But it's not the problem. They can do, they can do in the hand tool, because nobody can do from the first. They can learn. Yeah, it's not like, oh okay, you're gonna have the high profile of the wooden skill, not like that. They are just normal architecture student that graduate in the normal system. But okay, if they open mind to learn, okay, we can work together. Yeah. Actually, I when before I do the shoemaker, I usually working with the manufacturing, like they are the wooden factory that do the high craft or something, or they are ceramic factory that do the high profile, high quality of ceramic. I think after I working with them like 2 or 3 years, it's like a exchange project, like you do with the British Council or something like that. I think it's really hard to approach, like you're gonna do the high craft, to sell the high craft. So when I have to change to working with the builder team, and they are local people, not just Chiang Mai people, but some they are Burmese people, Thai people, or they are come from many really different cultural background. The thing that you need to do is do something simple. Like okay, we're gonna not approach them or try to push them to do the high craft, because it's first off is like you push them to do something too much of the capacity to do. But you need to approach them with something simple, really simple, but perform in this. You have to design something to make something simple to be interest. Is that why we have the pre-production. That's why we need the research really well. Because the method that you gonna do with the craft people is do something really simple, and don't make them to feel uncomfortable to working with us. I think it's the most important thing. That another thing is, if you do something simple and they can do it, they're gonna really proud of it, that they can do it, and they're gonna feel belonging with the work. Another thing is that, and if you design the system quite well, they do something simple, they're not wasting the time much, but the final product is quite well because combined with the design team already, they're gonna get the income fair with the thing that they do. They're not want to stay with the idealic so level of the designer. Okay, I gonna do the high craft. They is a normal people do the thing that the good job that they can do, and they get the fair income. The only thing is really basic. If you understand this process, you will not push them to do something they can do, and you're gonna use the design to make it interesting. So for me, the craft people is the people that delicate enough to understand this mentality, not the people that can do the really delicate uh, crafting the wood. No, for me, the craft people is the people that delicate in the mentality. So if you understand this process, it's gonna be easy to working with them. Yeah. And last 2 and 3 I working with the TCDC. It's like a Chiang Mai Design Week, or like the design festival in Chiang Mai. They have the mentality that they tribute to the high craft. The Chiang Mai is famous for the high craft, but the thing that government or the people in the government thing, the thing that they think is like staff the high craft like that, the people can touch it, people can approach to it. It's really hard to understand, and it can sell anymore because it's old school already. So you see, when the people not understand the real craft, it's gonna be something that can touch and can approach anymore. It's expensive, and no one can afford it and they can't sell it. So they have to quite understand the nowadays a little bit what craft gonna be live or something like this. Yeah. Yeah, someone tell me, I know, I heard from someone that the most nice promote things of architect is do the real architecture, and it's good. No, no, you no need to hire the advertisement company to promote yourself. So the most promote thing for architect is the real architecture. It's a really simple also. When the sub when I was young, and I don't have the real building happen, it's really hard time for every young architect, I believe. For every young architect, it's really hard because they work like for 100 hours for send to the client, and it's not happen real. And nothing's happen. It's like okay, but after done for 2 or 3 building, and you have the really strong intention what you want to do, I think after that the language of the building gonna be filter. The client gonna be come to us. It's they're gonna be the people that really interest in this kind of language. If they don't like our work, they will not hire us. It's really simple also. Yeah. So uh I find it's more easy after I have a real building. And I think this this thing happen with architect around the world. Everything gonna be easy if you can push yourself to do the real building for like first or second building. Okay, after that you uh, will more know by another people. But for us is mean the people come to us, they have the high expectation also, because the way that you work, you say you have the pre-production of the research. It mean they come with a high expectation also. So is our thing that we have to carry. But we really love the way that we explore material, all the things here, so it's not problem. But for if you ask me easy to get uh, client or not, I think it's normal. Like okay, the people that interest in this language gonna come to you. If they interest in another language, they gonna come in another company. Yeah, just that. For our daily routine here is not affect with pandemic much because as you see we quite isolate from the city a little bit, and we still and we have just a few staff, so we don't no need to do the work from home or something. We still working normally. We just take care ourselves and our health a little bit. But for the client, some commercial they gonna pause or something. I really understand. But for our scale is still really nice for us. Still nice year for us because a lot of a lot of commercial they stuck with the business and the pandemic, but a lot of house still want to build and design. I think the pandemic is make the people curious about their life more. So the program that relate with the some curious of the people, like the house, the small house that isolate in the landscape far away, something like that, is happen with us a lot. But the commercial, they I really understand, and I always say with really every client, okay, I think we can come to continue when you are ready. No need to put yourself like that. So for us, the pandemic for the workflow is still okay here, and we are in Chiang Mai, so it's not hardcore of the pandemic here. So for us it's just make us more isolated from the social. So we're working in the studio and yeah, just that more claim and working, still focus on the working. So I think for us it's quite not bad time, new experience, but not bad time for us. Yeah.